visitor coming? Who can guess who's coming in December? Who do you think?
The Easter Bunny.
Who do you think's coming? Santa Claus. So it's going to be a fun day on December 12th, but go ahead and grab one of these. And there's also some bookmarks here for you to grab. So let me just tell you right now that following Jesse's presentation, you guys are welcome to stay and make your own turtle. We're going to wait until after her presentation though. All of the supplies are back here. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Jessie. You want to give her a round of applause? That would be good.
Okay, so the turtle that we're going to talk about today, the one that I have brought in, is a three-toed box turtle. Now these guys come from the central part of the United States. So mostly around Missouri, South Alabama, and around Texas. They're very common in those areas. Now these little turtles, this one's just a very small young turtle. They reach upwards anywhere from 5 to 8 inches around. They get pretty good size. This is just a little baby right now. So for in pet shops, we have to sell a turtle at a minimum of 4 inches from end to end. So it's illegal for us to sell anything smaller, so you won't find those little bitty brand new baby turtles. But this is already a very well-established turtle. She's gained a lot of weight. She's eating really well. She's already at a sturdy point in her life to be transitioned to a new home, and so you guys can get to know her. So this turtle here is a little female. She actually, the way you can tell the difference between males and females of the three-toed box turtle, the males will actually have more of a crimson color to their eye. The females have more of a yellowish, greenish kind of tinge to them. Now, the males will also, on the bottom part of their shell, which is called the plastron, they'll actually have a concave bit there, right on the bottom of their shell. The females have more of a flat shell, flat surface. Now these turtles are more of an in-depth turtle. They're not like your water turtles who are very narrow and thin that can actually swim very easy. They actually do very well with the higher base carapace, and that's the top part of their shell. Now, so these turtles, temperature is a very important part for the habitat of the turtle, in order for him to digest properly. So during the day, you want a daytime light bulb that actually produces about 80 degrees in the hot side. So turtles need actually a hot side of the tank and a cool side of the tank. So any type of heat sources that you have, like in this kit here, you want to have all on one side. That way you can warm up when it needs to, and if it gets too hot, it can go to the other side and cool down. So there's a couple products in here. We have some of the hoods to hold the light bulb, and we also have the tube fluorescent. Now UVB is very important for turtles. It actually helps promote the calcium growth in their shell, which helps a strong, tough shell that'll help protect them in the wild. So now box turtles get their name from the one hinge they have on the bottom of their plastron. And that actually enables them to completely close up both ends of their shell so that nothing can get into their shell. So it keeps them safe and protected. And that kind of makes it a box for them. That's where they get the name box turtle. So, let's see, we'll talk a little bit about their diet. Now, turtles are omnivores. Now, omnivore is an animal that eats both proteins and greens, and so veggies and fruits, stuff like that. Now, proteins for them is mainly like mealworms, crickets, earthworms. They'll even eat roaches. You can even give them a bit of cooked beef or cooked chicken. They do like a little bit of that. So they both like meats and greens. Now, when they're young like this, proteins are actually very important to help them grow big and strong. As they get older, the greens are a little bit more necessary to keep up their vitamin intake. Let's see, so some of the greens that they like, one of their favorites is the muskmelon, watermelon, strawberries, bananas, grapes, and peaches. That's a really good variety of fruits for the turtle. Now as far as greens go, you want to stay away from anything iceberg. Iceberg is just water. There's not a whole lot of nutrient value to the iceberg. So stuff like romaine, chard, bok choy, collard greens, all that stuff is very high in nutrients and very good for the turtles. Now for turtles, you want to make sure you mince up their salad to nice little itty bitty easy biteable pieces. It makes it really easy for the turtle and a little more readily available for him. Some more things that you can give the turtles that they will eat are some apples. They will also eat corn. They do like corn. Squash, carrots, and cucumbers, and even some sweet potatoes. So there's a very extensive list of fruits and veggies that the turtles like and that they will eat. But so now as far as the cage goes, how to set up a home that'll keep a turtle happy and healthy. Now this size cage is good for an adult 3-toed box turtle. Again, they get pretty decent size. They get about this big. So you want room for the turtle to be able to walk around and move around without knocking everything over. So they will need a little hide house for them to hide in. That takes up quite a bit of the tank. Now they will also need a good sized water dish and an easily accessible food dish. Now water is actually incredibly important to these turtles. They may be a land type turtle, but water is very important as to where the turtles need it for digestion. So they go into their water dish, and what they'll do is it actually helps flush out their digestion and keeps them healthy. So occasionally you'll have a bit of a mess to clean up afterwards in their water dish, which is a healthy turtle. He knows what he's doing. So, but it does make it easier to clean the cage. You just take the water dish out and dump it and put fresh water in. But you gotta make sure you keep up with your water, the fresh water for the turtles. Now there's also this little product right here, the little blue bottle. That is actually a water dechlorinator. Now what that does, it takes the chlorines out of your tap water, which makes it safe for your turtle. And this water dechlorinator actually has electrolytes to add to the water, which is good for turtles. It's kind of like Gatorade for turtles. So it's very beneficial for them. Now also, there is a little block in there. Now turtles actually have a beak, so they need something to wear it down like a bird would. So there's a calcium block there that's both good for nutrient value and it helps keep their beak worn down because their beak can't overgrow if they don't wear it down. So you always want to make sure you have one of those available to them in the tank. Now, a couple of bit of bedding that we have that we sell at our store. That one there is called Forest Floor. It's actually a very good bedding for these types of turtles. It actually has a bit of moss mixture in there for them. It actually holds the humidity. It makes it nice and damp and moist for them. Keeps their skin happy and they can breathe better. Now, let's see. We've also got the calcium powder. Now, calcium powder is very important for these guys since they aren't getting natural daylight sun from outside too often. So the calcium also helps the bones grow strong and the shell. So that's always important to put a little sprinkle on their food. Thermometers are actually very important too. A lot of the times, if your turtle is feeling under the weather or if he's having some issues,
I have to get out of here, so can I grab my cereals?
So thermometers help you be able to tell what the temperature is at in the tank. A lot of the times, if your turtle isn't doing too well, it gets the puppy eye or the eyes stay closed, it's usually an issue with heat. So usually bumping the heat up to about 90 degrees, warming them up real quick, and then bringing it back down to your 80 degrees really helps with any issues they might have. So heat and moisture, hydration, is some of the most important parts for keeping a happy, healthy turtle. Let's see. So we are going to bring her out so I can show you the reason why they call her a three-toed. So she'll let me see her feet. I'm not sure if she will. She's going to close up. But see how they have that one single hinge down on the bottom? That makes it able for them to completely close the front and the back end of their shell, just like that. Okay. Now the three-toed box turtles, they're called three-toeds because on their back feet, they only got 3 little toes. And the males tend to have bigger claws, the male hat, or male trait. The females are a little more dainty in their hind feet. Now, they also have their little nostrils right up front, That way they can just poke their head up and be submerged in the muck or the leaves, decayed leaves, so when they sleep, they can hide and be safe and still breathe properly. Let's see. What else we got about her? So she's still a very young turtle. She's got a lot of weight, a long time to grow and fill in. But in the end, this is going to be a happy home for her. She can even go in this size cage right now. This is the size cage she is in at my store where she is available for sale. Now the females tend to be a bit duller in color. They don't have quite as many dark or bright markings like the males do. And they also actually have quite a bit of yellow spots and red spots that cover a lot of their throat. Where in the breeding process, the males will show off to the females with puffing up their throat bigger, just like a frog. So they'll puff up and look big and tough, and that's how they get the girl. So this is a happy, healthy, normal shell for a box turtle. Sometimes you can tell if your turtle is having a hard time taking in its calcium or if it's having any illnesses. Sometimes the shell will grow a little different and not quite so smooth, and you'll have some kind of scoops where the shell will kind of pop up on the sides. And that's just a sign of he needs some help with his calcium. Now, soaks are always a good important part with these turtles, not only just in their water dish inside the tank. You should always take them out, take them in the sink, let them rinse some water through them and everything. And also it helps keep their skin healthy and moisturized. I think that's about all I've got as far as information. Do we want to take some questions? Oh, yeah. Did you have one? You said how did they eat? How did they eat? So the turtles, they have their little beak right up front there. And you actually chop up their food real nice and fine for them, and they'll go right up to the dishes. So another question here. These turtles are some of the younger turtles that don't live as old as some of the other larger ones. These guys will live around 25 to 30 years. Which a lot of other turtles can live anywhere up from 50 to 80. So they're one of the more short-lived turtles. Yes.
Why turtles are living in the United States of America?
That's just where these guys come from. That's where they've always originated from. That's just the specific kind. There's a lot of different kinds that come from different parts of the world, and there's also quite a few different types that live alongside with these guys in the United States.
Can turtles that go in water, there's only some that I know of, can they actually breathe on land?
They can. Actually, aquatic turtles do have lungs like we do. So they can't breathe underwater like a fish with gills could. So they can go down, they can hold their breath for a really long time. But they still gotta come up and get air. This specific turtle runs at about $89.99. That's just the turtle himself. Now the kit and everything, your first initial cost is going to be one of your biggest, but that is going to help a very healthy life for the turtle so that he can grow and you don't have to worry about upgrading later.
How old is he?
This one's probably around 3 years old. They do a lot of growing in the first 6 years of their life. After that, the growing starts to slow down. What's your question?
What eats them?
What eats them? A lot of things eat them. As far as a lot of people do like to make outdoor pens for their turtles, but you do have to be very careful with like raccoons, dogs, even cats. Out in the wild, a lot of alligators or crocodiles like to eat these guys a lot. So there's a lot of predators that can actually get to these guys. What's your question? It actually keeps growing with the turtle. So this is actually a part of their body. This is their actual body. They don't move their shell like a hermit crab would.
So they can't pull it out.
No, that's actually attached to them. That's their growth. So it actually could hurt them if you hurt their shell.
How much is she?
She's 89.
And how much is the?
This kit here, I believe, is $199, but it's actually, considering all the lighting costs in here, it's a good deal.